For those that have been sleeping for the past couple of years, could you tell us who you are and what you do?
My name is Sabirul Islam, and for those who have been sleeping in the past few years, well, my whole journey as an entrepreneur started when I was 14 years old. But the reason I became an entrepreneur is because at the age of 13, my cousin, who's a year older, set up his first business, and I thought, wow, at the age of 14 he sets up his own business. And we were both in the same school, and the funny thing is I just went up to him and said, cousin, can I work for you? His business idea wasn't the greatest. He designed calendars for teachers in school. We put that on the side. But to have that courage at such a young age, to be born and raised in such a community as well, in a very, very diverse community, but still grow up and actually set up a company at the age of 14, I thought was remarkable. And what he did, he made £60 profit in one whole academic year. So that gave me that urge to go and ask him for a job. So I thought I could earn, a few money, in my back pocket. So that was quite funny at the time. But having got the job, I got fired after 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
And, that's one thing really, really important that I learned at the age of 13, that if you take an opportunity, you should always make the most of it. But the fact that he fired me, he kind of brought this whole anger into me, and I always think that negative energy for me is a form of inspiration to prove people wrong. The fact that he fired me, he was a managing director, I wanted to be a CEO. He made £60 profit, I wanted to make thousands. So I wanted to do so much better than him. So at the age of 14, I set up my first business. It was nothing to do with calendars. I wasn't selling to teachers. So I got employed 6 of my friends, and we started a web design company, and we went out to the city of London, and first client was Merrill Lynch, so we made over £2,000 profit in the first 2 weeks.
That's brilliant. Have you found it difficult setting up your own business being a teenager?
To be honest with you, no. That's the weird thing. When you're young, people see you in a whole different perspective. They don't expect, the society doesn't expect a young person to actually go and set up a company or do something extraordinary that will change the world. But for someone to step up and actually go and do that, it's remarkable. People will see you differently, treat you differently, and obviously give you a huge amount of respect for that. And that's why for a young person to take that step forward in life, you'll get all the support. You need more support than actually those who are in their 30s and 40s setting up their own company, because people want to be a part of your success, and that's something remarkable.
That is. So the book that you did, The World at Your Feet, can you tell us more about that, the challenges you faced getting it published, and how technology helped you to launch your book?
I think the fact that I was writing this book, I was in college at the time, and I got really bored during my lunch break, so I was just sitting on my computer, just typing away. And 3.5 months later, I realized that, I've written so much, and it can actually inspire people to actually go out there and set up their own companies. But the fact that I've written this book, which I didn't even plan writing a book, it just came out of the blue. But the fact that I've written one, I wanted to inspire kids around the world that anyone can achieve success in life. But I approached 40 different publishers to get the book published, and I got rejected by each and every one of those 40. And so I had to self-publish it. I designed the book myself on the computer, marketed the book myself through social media, connecting with a lot of people, going to so many different events, and also sold the book myself. And that introduced me to public speaking. And in the space of 9 months, I went to over 370 different events and sold over 42,500 copies of the book. And the funny thing is, all 40 publishers who rejected me came back to me saying that they want to publish my book. And that for me just opened huge opportunities. And I think at the age of 17 was my breakthrough to become the person that I am today.
And what words of wisdom would you give to anyone else wanting to go down the self-employed route?
I think it's really, really fascinating, because at the end of the day, you're your own boss. No one else is going to control you. But there are obviously risks involved, because if you make a mistake, you will have to fall back, and you have to pick yourself up on your own. People will give you help, and you should ask for help, and that's really important. But for someone to go down the self-employed route, they have to know what they're doing, and they have to have a vision, something big they want to achieve, but take one small step at a time, and always gain inspiration from people, not celebrities. And that's one thing I would never do. Look up to a celebrity, because the gap between an ordinary individual and a celebrity is huge. You need to look up to someone who's done slightly more than what you've done in life, your parents, your cousin. And once you reach their level, you look up to someone higher, until you walk up that ladder, until you might one day become a celebrity. So you look up to celebrities themselves. That way, you've achieved something in life.
And how have you used social media in order to help young entrepreneurs?
Well, when I set up my second business, The World at Your Feet, social media has been a huge help, because the whole point of The World at Your Feet is to inspire, educate and provide opportunities for young people. Now, the best way to reach out to young people is, of course, through social media. There are MySpace, Facebook, Twitter and all sorts of things. But to go on there and say, okay, I'm looking for young entrepreneurs who I want to recruit for my speaking agency, bang, bang, bang. There are so many young entrepreneurs who are professional speakers now that want to be a part of it. And that's really easy to do. And it's not like you're going to have to, I need a CV or anything. They just have to tell me their biography, their story. And straight away, I've got captured 25 UK speakers, 25 international speakers. And the fact that I've also got a publishing company, there are so many people who want to publish their own books. I go on Facebook and say, who wants to write their own book? Do you want to get it published? And I get so many people coming through. And so social media has helped me extraordinarily.
Thank you very much for coming on Rise TV1.
Thank you very much for having me.